This is my dream and my reality, and I don't know if I want to go back to where I was. At first I was a bit nervous about it, had no idea, but then all of a sudden here I am, and with lots of trials and tribulations, I'm here doing it and absolutely love every minute of it. Anything to do with babies, that was me. I would babysit anyone's child all the time, and my passion was to be a paediatric nurse. We married and had 4 beautiful children. My dream was to become a paediatric nurse and run a paediatric hospital. My husband's dream was to own a cattle property and be a farmer. And I had nothing to do with farming, so no background, petrified of the bulls, used to run in the opposite direction when a cow would come and sniff me. And then we saw this place and he wanted to buy it, and I was like, okay. So we made a decision that it was going to be a family thing and we were going to buy Waterview. So we bought Waterview, which is now known as Millstream Springs. And my first experience is we put all the cattle through the yards, because there was cattle left, some left on the farm when we bought them. And it was the massive eye-opener for me. I remember walking out of the yards, looking at the property going, oh my God, do we have to do this all the time? And Brett turned around and said, oh yes, quite frequently. And I'm just like, you're kidding me. So I had to look at what we had, or else I was going to cry, because that experience that I was experiencing was not pleasant. Anyway, then gradually he wanted to go into stud. So I just let him do his thing, and then he realised that he, as a doctor, was not able to do this. He just didn't have enough time. And my kids had got to a point where they were sort of young enough and old enough to sort of be themselves. And in order to make it work, I needed to come up to Milla and step in. I try and put my nursing knowledge into an animal world, and I know they're not exactly the same, but the concepts are the same. So in the nursing world, if the baby is born and not doing very well, then these are the steps I will take. So in the cattle world, if that calf is born, then the steps I would take would be no different. So you just step in and you revive and do resuscitation and maintain warmth and stuff like that. So it's very similar. There's been heaps of biggest challenges, but the biggest challenges I had to face was 2 years ago, which was the realisation that I was here on my own, and we had our first lot of bulls to take to the bull sales, and my husband said basically he wasn't coming and I needed to take the bulls to the Rockhampton sales, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I've just got up here, I'm petrified of the bulls, and you're now telling me I have to take them to Rocky and sell them. He goes, you'll be fine, off you go. Well, there were days I just sat here and I had a tear, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I had no idea what was involved in getting them ready for sale. So I had to just do a bit of researching, and yep, got them ready and learned how to bath them and get them friendly and touch them, and took them to the sales and sold them. And it was a bit of a challenge for me personally, but I did it. And then last year, when we took the last lot of bulls to the sales, it paid off, because I was no longer nervous and I knew exactly where I was going and I knew what I had to do, and I went down there and did it on my own, and it was like, it was good. It made me feel that, like, yes, I'm there, I've done it, and then this year hopefully is even better. 8 or 9 months ago, when I knew I was here for the long haul by myself, we employed Isaac Ramsey, which was probably the best thing we ever did. And he comes with a lot of knowledge in regards to the stud world and has helped me become the person I am in regards to dealing with the cattle, muster properly and draft off. And I'm not scared. I used to give injections like I was giving an injection to a human being, soft and gentle. We sit down and work out our breeding programs, and when we're going to do we do a bit of IVF and embryo transplants. So we sit down and work out our program for the year or the 6 months, and we go out and look at our cows and heifers, our stud stuff, and then we go and do semen research of bulls to try and better the genetics that we're going to have on the ground. We breed Brangus and Speckle Park. Speckle Park are getting a name for themselves. You can actually turn them off a lot younger. They are getting a good reputation with their carcass and marbling with minimal excess wastage. It can be a bit more of a boutique-y breed, and I don't have a lot, but what I've got at the moment, we're just enjoying them. After much research, we've chose Brangus. They're a good return. They've got high fertility, ease of calving, great mothering skills. Their carcass and tenderness score is great, and they add a great quality to any herd that you decide you want to put a Brangus bull over. You'll get great yields. We also talked to Telpara Hills, and our first couple of Brangus studs that we are using as donors at the moment originated from them. A typical day for me is a 4:30, 5 o'clock rise, so I can do a bit of bookwork and stuff before I head out. 7 o'clock in the morning, I normally head out and Isaac turns up and we go and feed the bulls, the heifers, and do a paddock check. Paddock check could be good one day and you have nothing, and the paddock check the next day could mean you've got a cow with 3-day, or a heifer that's lame, or a bull that might be injured. So the paddock check in the morning determines how the rest of your day is going to go. We've already planned our week, so at the moment we're putting in troughs and tanks, and we've got a new crush coming. Or they might be preparing for the next IVF program, and so getting your recip cows and stuff ready and organised. My goal for Millstream Springs, or my long-term plan, is to get to a point where we can have 150 stud calves on the ground a year, bearing heifers and bulls. Last year we did really, really well when we went to the Rockhampton bull sales, which we were in the top sort of 10% with both of our bulls that we sold, and I've spoken to both people who have bought them recently and are very happy with them. This year we've got another 5 that we're taking to Rocky sales, and I have been told that they're equally as good, if not better, than the ones we took last year, so I'm pretty excited about that. We put a lot of time and effort into the boys and trying to get them to be adaptive to whatever environment that they are getting sold to. We sell off paddock as well as Rockhampton sales, and hopefully our numbers will be up in the next 12 to 18 months, say 2 years, where people can come and buy off our paddock as well as taking bulls to the sales. So I think there's proud moments every day, because every day I'm doing something different and new and trying to better myself the day before. You may have one dream now, but there are hundreds of dreams. And what you probably need to do is conquer them all, because life is too short. After a big day, or after any day really, at the end I grab my dogs, put my music on, drive around the farm, watch the sunset, sit on many rocks, but there's one favourite one right at the top, and you just sit in the seat and you just watch the sun go down, enjoying a glass of wine. This is my world and I wouldn't give it up for anything. Love it.